So what do? We'll get uniform. She said, no, she cannot wear uniform. She cannot wear
I
uniform.
like them when they are direct.
And that she cannot wear uniform, and that's it. And most of the time, most of these girls that we get, like the one there was one I got recently, we put her in school and everything. After 4 years, she went to school, everything, and then she said she was going home to go and see her parents, and then she would come back. She went back home, and before we could say anything, story to come back, story to come back. After a while, we just realized that she got pregnant. So at the end of the day, when they meet up with all those people, you know, majority, the way they think, the way they see things is always different. So by the time you help them and they go, everything will be, in Yoruba people call it sonu. Everything will just go.
So that you're saying
Yoruba. That means everything that you must have.
So we're talking about how to handle expectations of these people. So if a person is not meeting, I have learned recently not to dream anybody's dream again. If you want to better your life, do it by yourself. It didn't concern me. If I see your efforts, I might chip in help, but I won't tell you you have to better your life. You have to do better. You cannot remain, because I believe that there's no low class. In my house, my former help served me food, and so I didn't have to tell her what to eat. You cannot be serving me food without telling I didn't grow up like that. So you eat whatever you cook for, you eat. And it didn't work. It still did not earn anything. I dreamt for her. She did not become what I want her to be. She was okay where she is. And I always have learned it. Leave people where they are, except where they want to change it. So for this woman, there's no business. The girl is even underage. There's no business that you brought a girl into your house and you have condemned her to a low class for life, to the extent television is now a privilege. Television.
Let me take Bola as we're holding for a while. Good morning, Bola. Thanks for calling. You're live. Good morning, Bola.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. I feel in my 1 minute on this earth, I feel like different reasons why people treat other people terribly is one. Many people are just like Oju Rolari, Somweni, or Lari Yono. People who never expected they will make it, and then they make it and go crazy. That is one. I've seen a issue of those people. Number two, people's innate character. And that means that those people, whether they are poor or rich, they're terrible. I had a maid who I give my gate men food at least once a week, just feed all of them. And I had a maid who would refuse to feed them whenever they offended her. I had a maid who would not give the driver, if I sent her, let's say, give a Camaro this thing, I'm off. She wouldn't do it. And it took a while for me to find out. And I'm just wondering, you that they brought from so and so place, you came from suffering. You two are suffering people. That is two. Then there's the third category of people who actually believe in a strata system where once I'm above you, I own your life. Those are people. Then number four, and I feel like even all of us, and I've heard some of your comments too on the table, we're all guilty of it. When you start analyzing a need and saying, hey, there are some of them, when they come, the way they can come, when they come, some of your children's attitudes and characters are worse than the maid.
Of course.
And those your children will also grow up and go out with those characters, and somebody will deal with them. A maid is a human being. We are all made differently. Some of them come arrogant, but then some of us are arrogant. Some of them come mannerless. Some of our children are mannerless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you find in a maid. Let me quickly give this last short story, please. We had a Megad, we call him Baba Gadna, and he used to have clients at our gates to pray for them and do things for them in front of our house. One day we were driving in from church, and I was telling my dad, see Baba Gadna now, why are you alive? Look at people in front of our house. And my dad turned to me and said, Omo, alone if you riwala. That thing affects me till today. If I bring my children to your studio, you will start from the gate, greeting gate man. If they find a cleaner in your studio, not just greet, they will bend. The girl will bend her knees, the boy will bend his waist to greet. because my own father taught me that we are only as good as this king when we are alive. When we are all dead, we are all subject to the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to, and she sort of touched on what I wanted to say because, you know, the caller before Madam Bola called was talking about the fact that you have to maintain boundaries, that some of these maids get entitlement mentality. It was a comment, yes. Get entitlement mentality. But the truth is, our children also get entitlement mentality. Our children start believing and feeling entitled to things you've given them opportunity to have. And they also don't have boundaries. And you had to train your child. You tolerated your child's mistake, but we are unwilling to tolerate the maids or people, other people's mistakes. So in this space of talking about entitlement, even staff in office get entitled. Okay, we've said we'll do bonus. Then the next month, we're like, when is the bonus coming? I said, the company declared profit and gave you bonus. I did not say bonus is now your entitlement every month. No, don't have that mindset. That's entitlement. So when entitlement sets in, you create boundaries. You explain the boundary and not punish or beat the person because the person is a human being. They have ears, they can hear. And if you find out that they are not listening to you, you fire the person. But you know, we don't fire our children. We tolerate and manage and keep on working on them because we are responsible for them.
So we talk on both sides. Let me take this call. Ayeni has been holding for a minute. Good morning, Ayeni. You're live. Hello, Ayeni. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Please, this is Ayeni Kendi Kotman, calling from
Welcome to the
Shagam.
show.
Yes, welcome to the show.
So my contribution is that I could remember in 1980s when I was staying with my uncle in Ekiti. So there was a time they have 3 children. So they now called when they bought something for them, like clothes. It was around the Easter period. As I was staying with them, we go to farm, do many things. So at the end of the day, they now bought them clothes. So when they put the clothes for them, so I was at the sitting room, we are together. Thank God that we are family. I don't know. If it is this time around, I would have maybe did something that all these small children are doing. As in by drinking sniper, you know, before you know, when they maltreating them, you see some small children. Before you know, they've decided to take up their life. But I must tell you that what happened was that when they did that one for them, they now called me that they said it in Yoruba that I was now thinking that I will go to farm, do all these things. At the end of the day, I was not given anything. Then you are now calling me to appreciate for what you bought for your children. So that is what I want to tell you, that the way is, it is vice versa, you understand? Then, thank God that we were brought up in a village. So I hope that one day I will make it in life. And to the glory of God today, if I should try, anytime I travel to Ekiti, and that my uncle, thank God that he's still alive, he will say, Kenny, I heard that you have come. Please, I will come to your house to come and meet you. And I have a property in that place as well. And up to date, during December period, they will call me that, please, when you are around, okay, Aku Palemodo, Aku Murado. So it is better to endure. When you are in a particular situation, God will see you through if you are doing good. Today I'm in Lagos and I'm doing fine as well. So I pray that all those people, both the parents that have maids, though I'm not maid, I was living with my uncle as a family.
All right. Thank you very much, Ayeni.
It happens with families.
It happens with families.
My dad's story was very touching.
Yeah. So
My dad
the
said,
story.
sorry, Aramatu. When he came to Lagos, he came to his uncle's house, his paternal uncle, his father's own brother, and he wanted to go to school. And so Unilag was the university of choice then, and he wrote, and the uncle said, they don't used to take Edo indigenes in that school. But fast forward, his children finished from the school. And so my father used to say something, he would say, all of you have to work hard to be successful. Because Ohuli, Lakegbere, which is when you're successful, you have plenty relatives and family members. And he played out in his story, but this man's story is so touching.
So touching.
When the Professor said something, that if you have 4 children or 4 dependents, you don't give to one in the midst of the other. I apply it even to eating. When I'm hungry and I feel like eating, I ask the people in the house, have you all eaten? So that it's not that when I put my head of catfish, everybody will be hungry. You make sure that everybody has gone around, or you share what you have. You don't do that. So those kind of things breed some emotions.
Resentment, yeah.
Resentment, trauma. You must deal with it. You must be discerning enough to apply it in front of your kids. If I don't want to see my in-laws, my mother-in-law who lives with me, I will ask my kids, I'm not in the mood to see Mama today. Maybe we had an issue. Have you seen your grandmother? So they will be with her and she'll be consoled, even knowing that we had our differences. You must apply that discernment no matter how. Not to talk of when you have a help. If your relative is with you and you cannot afford a clothes, maybe a time of Salah or something for everybody, you must let that relative understand what is happening. I cannot afford for all of you. But what I know is that what you cannot afford is the best quality. You can afford, you can spread your resources to another lesser quality and it will be understood. Oh, all of you cannot get agbada, is buba and shokoto, everybody. I cannot get you damask, you can get London was Kankara, but they are wearing new clothes. And it will be balanced out. We should start to apply this discernment.
To wrap up.
And if it's not appreciated, you can balance it.
Engineer Tijani has sent me a long episode, but let me try to see if I can summarize it. But he was saying that we have created a caste system in our society, and it's a responsibility, and that is the ones responsible for the perception about other people. However, let me skip down to it says, for hygiene reasons, some people may prefer separate things, but it has to be done in a manner that everyone will understand why it is so, and not out of boss-slave relationship. We must respect the job others have chosen to do, and this is where dignity of labor comes in. We must treat other workers any worker in any chosen job as a professionals and such jobs, and this will guide our interactions with them. The only difference between our employer and employee is the privilege, and life is transient. I totally agree with that. Just to put on both sides. I remember when my mom died, I got some really, really lovely plates from her house, and they seem to be like gold plated, really lovely. And in my house, all of us use the same, like everybody. There's no difference. When I entered there, I said, "This one, no, oh God, this should touch it. Just me, myself, and I." And then a few weeks later, I saw everybody using it. Of course, I was livid. I was like,
because you gave an instruction.
I gave an instruction, but today, as I've seen everybody uses it. I mean, there's no more. I cherished it when I just
was personal.
It was personal. But now, but at that moment, if somebody would have recorded me saying that,
but some maids are on a mission. There are some maids that are on a mission. Like what you said earlier, that you were saying something like that we can tolerate our children, but we should be able to tolerate the maids.
You
see, the thing is,
unfortunately, we have to wrap up. I sincerely apologize.
No.
I was trying to wrap up when I got into that. But that's all we can take on this segment. We'll come back and move on to our next segment. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.